Hey, welcome to my video. I posted a short, which if you haven't seen it, in this short, I talk about setting impossible goals. Setting impossible goals for yourself can be life-changing. And it can be the wildest adventure of your life because when you set impossible goals, you are forced to become somebody else. And I highly recommend, listen to this, run to go and binge watch Benjamin Hardy's videos here on YouTube. He talks about 10x is easier than 2x. 10x is easier than 2x, and you're going to understand why, but I don't want to take away anything from his research. Go and watch it, but when you come and watch any of my videos that I put on here, you will understand my thinking, because I only discovered even recently, I was like, oh my goodness, I think like that. I've been thinking like that. I set myself impossible goals, which are scary and frightening in so many ways, and that I have to take a step back and think, is this where I want to go? Because whatever standard, listen to this, whatever standard you feel you have achieved so far, you need to set a higher standard. Whatever standard you have set yourself so far, you have to set yourself another standard. Because as humans, we are designed to want to go for more. We are designed to see something better. Because even where you are, you could have accomplished, you've raised your kids, right? Some of us, we've raised our kids and now we're empty nesters. What is the next goal, right? In my journey, it's always been like that. When I was walking away from my healthcare career of many years, I have a healthcare background. Okay, London sirens, but anyway. Before the time that I was allocated, because you have to acquire permanent residence, yes, after you've worked in the United Kingdom for 5 years. I think that has been reduced now. That was many years ago. But before that time was up, I was already planning something else. What will I be doing? Because I'm free to do whatever the heck I want. I don't have to be stuck in healthcare. But what I didn't realize is to prepare a little bit before that. Mentally, I was prepared. I wasn't sure what. The good thing was I was able to figure things out as I was going along. Can you see this? This mindset it's life-changing. Because you see, people who feel like they are stuck in life, if you are feeling like you are stuck, you are miserable, you're frustrated, but you're not sure what to do, you're causing problems for everybody else around you, because you have so much energy and your energy is going in the wrong direction, you need something big. You need something impossible. Because otherwise you'll be playing on the low energy level. And that won't work for you. When you play on the low energy level, I remember saying this to one of my in-laws. She's got such a big heart. She's a big money energy. But in some ways she was feeling restricted. So as I came, I was on holiday, I was speaking to her and I was saying, listen, you have a lot of energy. You have a big dream. Do not allow anything to be an excuse. Do not allow being married or being a mom to stop you from what you want to accomplish, because you can absolutely do that. But I also know that sometimes we have our own fears, our own self-doubt. Now listen to this. This is why I'm doing this video, because I want to help those of you in business here in the UK, United States, if you're in New York, Atlanta, Georgia, wherever you're based, Canada, Australia, maybe a part of the diaspora. I don't want you to be limited by your past story. Because some of us have not reframed our story. And I want to challenge you today as you're watching this video. I want you to actually come and sign up with a coaching program with me so that we can reframe your story, so that we can co-create together. Because many of us, wherever we are now, that's it. That's what you know. I remember even thinking about this myself. Many of us have been conditioned to think a certain way by the system we were raised in and by our own system. And sometimes we are so in love with our system, our way of thinking, our way of getting results. But what do you do when it's not working anymore? I remember going through a challenge in my life and I wanted to go back to nursing. And I was, applying, and I knew I had the skill set, the confidence and all that. But it's like every door was slamming in my face. And it was tempting to think like I'm the problem. But no. It's because life was challenging me to step up. go into the next season of my life. I was holding on to my security blanket. It's all I knew. I was good at that. Even if, to be honest, I knew there was more. But it's, like when we don't want to grow up, right? Being an adult doesn't necessarily mean you've grown up. No offense to anyone, I'm saying this as much to myself. It is about setting a new standard for yourself, like, okay, this is what I've accomplished so far, and this helped me to get to here, but where do I go from here? Dean Graziosi, I think his name is, I can't even pronounce his name correctly, but anyway, he said something that I thought about many years ago. If you want to 10x your life, you have to create an impossible dream. You have to create a compelling future for yourself and see yourself in it, and not like anybody else does. In my coaching, we will talk about these things, how you must actually go in that space and feel so amazing, feel so wonderful that you have overcome certain challenges, that you have overcome self-medicating. When it gets tough, we all have ways that we self-medicate. But what about putting away those childish things and deciding, you know what, I'm going to man up. I'm going to take this on. I'm going to face my lions and my bears. Some of you understand this story from the Bible. I'm going to face my Goliath, because sometimes the Goliath has been in your family, mocking you, taunting the whole family. And you're like, you know what? Somebody going to face this loser. This is all spiritual stuff. It's mentally, where you decide whatever it is, imaginary or not, I'm going to do the things I have never done before. Right? You decide, I'm going to do things I've never done before. So 10x. Coach Meg, let me break this down. If you are a business owner, I want to challenge you to think bigger, to be a part of the solution, where you build companies that pay your employees so well. Because that's one of the issues many of us walked away from before we became entrepreneurs, right? We saw other companies that didn't pay people well. And, people are now in the internet age. They have choices and options, unless they haven't got the knowledge yet, but sooner or later they will. And if you are a small-minded entrepreneur and you hire somebody who's got a big mind, who has big money goals, they may stay with you for a while, but after a while they will walk away. Because you are containing them, you are limiting them. If you decide to hire somebody who is more skilled, let's say in sales and marketing, right? They're passionate, they're entrepreneur-minded. They may have an employee mindset right now, but you better believe sooner or later they're going to figure it out and they're going to walk away. How do you keep somebody like that? To be a part of your team member, you have to stop seeing them as an employee. You have to see them as an important, critical member of your team. So this is where this 10x mindset, for me anyway, in my understanding, where you think bigger. Say, for example, right, you're a business owner. Make your dreams bigger, that they're bigger than you, and it's a business that you can sell. Go and check any high impact coach. The best businesses to build right now, take it from Coach Meg, is a business that you can sell. That is my whole idea. Whatever I'm building now is something that I can sell later on at a good profit. Not just like because you didn't realize you were not getting the knowledge, you haven't made room for learning and personal growth and development. You might not sell your business at the price that you thought you could sell it for. Yes? So you need to understand this as a business owner. What am I doing here? Maybe you may even decide after 3 years, I don't want to retire until I'm like, using a Zimmer frame. I have a healthcare background, right? Some of my clients had to use Zimmer frames. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you want to retire strong, feeling healthy, feeling robust, feeling like even in your 80s you can still be coaching? Because listen, everything that we are learning in life, that we are executing in life, you can be a coach later on if you want. You can do it in your 70s. You can do it in your 80s. You can think about this now. Yes? Where do you want to just be, like doing the same thing like everybody else? So think like a visionary. Think in your 80s, in your 90s, what does your life look like? Let's pause a minute. Let's talk about that. What does your life look like? You are now in your 80s. What does your life look like? What is your relationship with your children? Is it going to be like in the movie? I haven't even watched it yet. I've seen the trailers. Succession, where your family is squabbling, where you didn't lead your adult children properly, where you didn't help them to understand healthy boundaries, how to accept, how to work with different people, how to accept sometimes it's time for you to step down, how not to hold on to a position like in the movies, TV series rather, in Suits. Really interesting. I used to watch Suits many years ago and I decided to watch it again, and really interesting because I'm watching everything with a different mindset. Yes? You're in your 90s. How's your family doing? Are they taking each other to court? This is real stuff I've seen. Are your siblings fighting over your business? Who's going to take over? Are your siblings, have you supported them enough? Or it's not even about your fault. Listen, I'm not talking about that it's entirely your fault. Sometimes children, adult children, do their own thing. We do our own thing. But sooner or later, they have to respect your decisions. Maybe you decide you're in your 90s, I want to pass on the business. And you explain to your adult children at the beginning, listen, what you invest in this business is what you get out of it. At some point, I will hand over this business. Will you guys be okay if I place as CEO the person who is doing the most work, the person who has invested the most amount of time, the one who has given the biggest sacrifice to the business? Will you be okay with that? And you said it in writing. You set the expectation right at the beginning, and it's done. It's with the lawyers, because I've seen these things when I worked with my elderly private patients. So you set expectations at the beginning that everybody will be fine with it. There's no debate. This is it. These are the shares. If you are willing to invest in my company or companies, this will be your share. The one who does the most work, this is their amount. Because you see, sometimes, right, we are doing something and people don't have a visionary mindset. They don't know how it's going to be later on. Yes? So that's just one aspect. You're in your 90s. You want to enjoy your life now. You're in Monaco. You're living French Riviera. That's where you live. You decided to live there. You're having an amazing life. You don't have stress that would send you into a stroke or premature, leaving at. Because you see, I've worked in healthcare, right? There are things we don't have to accept. You don't have to accept that you have to live a life of stress that sends you into having a stroke, hypertension, all these illnesses. You don't have to accept that. Just because it happens and it's there, you have to make a choice. That's not for me. All these family squabbles, all this unresolved trauma, you have to decide, let's resolve these issues now. People who don't want to resolve it, you forgive them, you release them, and you let them go. And as any good parent would, the time they decide to come around and say, you know what, I was wrong, they're willing to admit their mistakes, you're like, okay, that's fine. You're willing to welcome them back. And here is your inheritance, by the way. And they are willing to accept. They went away. There's nothing wrong. They have more than enough. But somebody who was there may have a bigger share, yes, of the inheritance. And their inheritance is good enough for them. Ooh, this is so good what I'm talking about right here. I'm saving some families and you're not even aware. Listen, I also do senior care coaching. If you're struggling to make a plan for an elderly parent, get in touch with me. I've got a coaching package that's just for you. I started as a registered nurse, then I became self-employed, and I worked as a caregiver supporting families. Then I decided this is going to be a business. I took it seriously, and so I started changing my fees and my rates. So what that meant was I had to start charging higher. Because I've had this mindset where I want to understand what it feels like to work directly with clients. So that as I was moving up, in my own way, I started to understand. So now I use the coaching approach. I don't do where I work directly with an elderly client. It is, I find you the right person for your family. Because there's so many things to that that a lot of families don't understand. How to prepare your home for somebody who's going to come and live with your elderly parents. How to set expectations at the beginning so there's no confusion. Yes? How to have harmony. How to treat somebody who comes from a completely different culture as part of the family. Because a lot of families, I realize, is challenging. They never realized they would be in this situation where they have to work with somebody from a completely different background, and it can cause a lot of friction. Ooh. If you want to know more about this, by the way, if you want me to talk about this a little bit more, I'll do that on another video. But this has been part of my journey of being an entrepreneur, and it is amazing the things I learned by working with people, because I realized I was wise enough to work out that working in the hospital was isolating me from the real world. Working in healthcare was isolating me from the real world. It's like that. Yes. I realized it's home to work, back home, work, no. And don't get me wrong, I was grateful for that experience, but I wanted more for my life. I wanted to do more. And I felt like I'd done my contribution, I'd done my time. So nobody say, oh, no, I appreciate my experience in healthcare, but I wanted more, and I wanted to live life on my terms in a different way. So I know that season in my life passed, and done all different things. I've done making handmade jewelry, and so forth, and so forth. But business coaching is something that I enjoy right now, and that's why I'm talking about this, to 10x your life. Set big goals for yourself. If you are a business owner, set big goals. Decide, I am going for 7 figures this year. Decide 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Because when you set bigger goals, you have to become another person. You cannot be who you used to be. And with that comes a sense of adventure, facing your fears, hiring people smarter than you. It may not even be about being smarter than you, but better in a certain area than you. That's a way to look at it. They're really good at sales and marketing. They're really good at coaching. They're really good at people skills. They're really good at finance. Yes, they're really good at retaining customers. They're really good at follow-up. That is how to think about it. That way, because some of us, sometimes we feel intimidated, or maybe somebody smarter than me will take my business, they'll take clients. No, you set expectations right at the beginning. Yes, you get all the contracts, everything drawn up. Yes, if you're going to hire people who are smarter than you in a certain area, I think that I take my hat off to you. You deserve a lot of respect, because that means you're an amazing person and you're willing to step down and be a bigger person. That, you know what, some people are better than me at certain things. And then guess what? Because of that, you can actually start getting better at what you're good at, because you're giving yourself permission and freedom and time to be good at what you're good at. Maybe your thing is conversations. You're the one who brings in the business, right? You're the one who goes out there, does the presentations. You're the one who's doing the masterclass. You're the one who's doing all the talks. You're the one who's posting on social media. But you're the one bringing in the new business, right? Because bringing in new business, there has to be somebody who's really good at that, yes? But to close that business may need somebody else, a closer. So you can go on Upwork and hire somebody to close that deal for you. You can go on Fiverr. You see, the world, we don't live this life in isolation. Whatever amount of success we want to achieve, we need others around us, no matter even if we don't want to accept it. Yes? And this is really helpful mentally to realize, you know what, I'm actually building an amazing life when I allow others to join me. So listen, to 10x your life, bigger dreams, hire other people to help you, because you know what, you don't want to pay them peanuts. You don't want people to be miserable because of they're not well compensated. You know, that's the good thing about building a business. You decide. It's not about other companies, what other companies are doing. You decide you want to be an investor in people. You want to invest in their growth and development. And you know what? When we treat people right, they'll stay with you forever. When you treat people well, they'll stay with you forever. If they're not very good at a certain skill set that you need them to be good at, you find somebody, you send them to training, you invest in them. People will like that. That is why we build businesses, to be different in the marketplace, right? Do you want to be doing what everybody else is doing? What's the point of that? So, listen, let me quickly now go on to, which I think I'm going to post a next video, because I told myself I'm going to take short videos for this segment. We're going to look at social media marketing. because I've been getting these emails. People want somebody to help them with brand visibility, to make sure your brand is visible. You need your brand to be visible. There's no way around it, because people are looking for you. But if they can't find you, they'll go to somebody else. So that's going to be the topic for the next video, how to become more visible. And I want you to get in touch with me, because we're going to be doing that. And I'll show you how to automate all this. We'll talk about it. Or if you want somebody else to take care of that while you focus on something else, yes. Because it is good to have integrity in business. That is how you'll be in the marketplace a long time. It is good to have integrity in business, that you're really providing a solution in the marketplace. You're not just cutting corners. It's not just about the money. Because business really, at the core of it, is about relationships and people. Treating people well, yes. Being trustworthy, being reliable. If you can't do something, if you can't fulfill a certain result that you promise a customer and client, be willing to offer them some compensation. Do apologize, not just in words, offer them a discount or something. So that's going to be the next topic, how to become more visible in your business online. I'm going to break it down as much as I can. But you know, each of you, especially if you're in health and wellness, that's really the area that I enjoy. You're a dentist, you're a chiropractor. If you are in real estate, I love all these fields. If you're a lawyer, an accountant, or you're an educator and you want to start doing something else online, you want to build a business online, or you want to build a YouTube channel, because YouTube is going to keep growing. It's going to keep growing. Yes. Or maybe you're a minister, you're a pastor, and you're like, you know what? I love my ministry, but I also want to be doing something to build my own economic engine. You want to go into economic empowerment. You realize that sometimes the offering is not enough, but you want to leave a legacy for your children, so your children are not part of the statistics. Yes? That though you are in ministry, your family is neglected, because remember, your family is your first ministry. So brand visibility, your organization, your charity, don't be a beggar in life. You decide. No, I'm not doing that. So anyhow, that will be the topic of the next video. Looking forward to see you. And I hope you are taking notes, because this is going to be life-changing for you. To 10x, set yourself impossible goals. Become the person that you have never been, because you see a different future for yourself. See you in the next video.